Coming into 7th grade, I was coming from a public school in Gardnerville, Nevada. It was a huge change coming from a school with 30 kids in a class to only having 20 in my whole grade. I wasn't ready for the different ways this school worked, what it was going to be like. I had no idea. So here I was, walking into this room with the only person I knew, Kobe, trying to figure everything out, see what everyone's names were. That first day was a bit chaotic. We were trying to understand everyone, meet everyone. It was all new. Then we went to our first tea trip. It was to a trip called to a mountain called Mount Rose. It was a very hard hike. I'd never been backpacking before. It was new. I didn't know what to do. I barely knew how to pitch up a tent. But I had my friends by my side the whole time. It was probably the most fun I'd ever had, and I had a lot of learning to do for the next trip. It was also a great reality check. There was tons of stuff that I needed to do and get ready for. But even with that, the best part of the trip was sitting by a creek, watching leaves flow by, sitting with my friends. That experience made me realize that these people had my back, no matter what. This couldn't be more apparent even to now, our most recent trip, the Klamath River. I'd never been rafting before, again. I had no idea what to expect, and I was so curious to learn and figure out what everything was. It was kind of cold the first day, and we weren't really excited for the rest of the trip. But once it got sunny, we started really having a lot of fun. It was an amazing experience, and I learned so much, like how to steer the boat and how rapids were formed. Plus, I'm not really a huge fan of water, but this time was different. I never was scared. One of the best educational parts of that trip was preparing for a debate. This debate was on the effects of the dams and if they were good or bad. It was amazing and eye-opening to see what the dams had affected to the water in firsthand. And it's kind of made it a lot easier for me to understand the size of the problem. That, along with my friends helping me along the way, allows me to get work done faster and be more productive overall. In working with teachers and classmates, I've learned so much about the ecosystems, algebra, how to write, and the past world. In the class or in the field, I've learned so much. But even coming into 7th grade, I'd been on maybe 5 field trips at most. I've learned so much after that though. So coming into a school with multiple trips a year, it was weird to adjust to this middle school. But having teachers always by my side really helped me get through that first couple of trips. The first trip I truly enjoyed was our 7th grade trip to Monterey. We were always doing something interesting, even if my jeans got soaked that first day. Whether it was going to an arcade on the Santa Cruz boardwalk, kayaking the Elkhorn Slough, eating pieces of kelp we found in the water, or sitting in a tree, working our worksheets, listening to the waves crash into the beach. We learned a lot about how to think on that trip because we started reading a book called Ishmael, which if you didn't know is a great book if your age is above 60. Yet, even with that downside, we had these great conversations every time we finished a chapter. It was a great eye-opener about how the world works and how people think. It's kind of how I started to look at the world after that. I started to look at the world with more than one lens, see both sides. Another time we did this was when we were working on a project with Palisades. My group was forced to figure out how to make Palisades vents more sustainable through food and to make it more locally sourced. It was a great experience for me because I'd never done something like that. I had no idea what to expect when I came up there. I was pretty nervous to stand in front of that conference room with my whole class sitting there and people that I'd met only a couple minutes ago. I was not sure what they would say or do, but then in the end, it was fine. They gave us a few pointers on how to do next time, which was really interesting to me because I didn't know I thought they were just going to think ours sucked. And I've always had a problem with public speaking because I've never really done it a whole lot. Going up to people and talking to them for the first time is really nerve-wracking for me. But Tia's made me get put into situations where I have to do it all the time. like in entrepreneurship, where we had to go into downtown Truckee and ask people about our project, which my project was a self-closing livestock gate. Really exciting. We had to go up to them and ask, hey, where would this help you? Do you know where this could be used? Which my gate was mostly designed to go to nature conservancies that allowed cattle grazing so people wouldn't leave gates open. So I don't think it's really what people expected to get asked on a Wednesday morning. But even with that, it really helped me change my perspective on the world and how I can go up to someone and explain how it works. And that's definitely not the only challenge I faced over my last 2 years at T. I've also gotten a lot better at arguments, whether from forming them to delivering them. Whether you're trying to advocate for yourself, others, or trying to advocate for the environment. This skill has taught me to look at both sides of the argument and let me see which one's the better one or which one should I take. It's another reason. This is what T has given me, and it's made me be able to grow in many areas that I would not have been able to otherwise. And this is how I plan to move forward into my future, forward in life, so that I can truly understand how the world works. Thanks for coming.